All right, so we're moving on to our next guest. He is well known as a Bitcoin educator. He's active in the communities of Nodl, Wasabi Wallet, Cold Card. He is Max Hillebrand. Welcome, Max.
What's up, peers? Thank you very much here. The organizers, what event. Man, this is awesome. The community together, the tribe together, fantastic. Thank you very much for joining. And thank you very much for everyone here contributing to the Lightning Network. This is a fantastic project. We really have something special here at our hands. Bitcoin is doing fantastic strides. I mean, the development we had in the last couple months, in the 2 weeks, the many blocks, it's incredible. So here, it's a bit of a celebration of what we might build. A true second layer for the second realm. Something that is a true manifestation of crypto anarchy, where we do have privacy and anonymity in our financial transactions. Because if we break this attribution to economic trade, we fundamentally break the OODA loop, and this is a great way to de-escalate your conflicts and therefore resolve a peaceful trade, a free economic trade as it should be. And this is really something very powerful combined together with a Libra sound money that you own and control. Your Bitcoin, you run this consensus protocol. You self-host it, it's your node. This is a great combination, true financial sovereignty in the economic sense of defending yourself against economic theft via inflation, right? By controlling the consensus rule to enforce monetary 21 million supply. And combining that with good privacy in order to protect for the direct theft of coins. Right? If you can be attributed, oh, you have that many Bitcoins, and you use them for this and this, this is a great potential attack vector that someone will specifically target you to steal your precious sats. So this is important to not fuck up, and we done fucked up a little bit. And I think we can fix it. I'm pretty sure that many of you have awesome ideas on how to make this second layer as private as it truly can be. We have great potential. There are some steps where we really just have to take care and defend ourselves. This is not easy. This is very, very complex. This is crazy magic. So we need everyone to kind of think about this. And just from the last couple of presentations, we are going to fix it. It's 2 weeks. So, Piers, this is also a conversation. Please come up to the microphone if you have any valuable insight, any questions. I don't know all the answers, but we're gonna somehow figure it out. So let's start a bit of a journey of how you can privately, completely enter and use and leave the Lightning Network as a second layer, as an option, if you want to use it, if it is suitable for your individual preferences. First of all, how are you gonna get your Bitcoin, right? Coinbase? No. What's up? Coinbase? No, you're not going to use Coinbase. No, come on. No, please. KYC exchange, why? Don't beg for permission to earn your sats. No. Like, earn them, right? Provide goods and services in the Agora and earn them. Sell your stickers, sell your t-shirts, sell your contributions to open source projects. You're gonna somehow figure it out. Provide a valuable service to a peer, and he's hopefully gonna give you a couple sats for it. That's the best way to get them. If you still have your fiat bags, sell them for cash. People who only have Bitcoin might maybe need the fiat Bitcoin as like a gift card. So then you could give them some of your fiat cash and they would give you the Bitcoin. That's pretty anonymous. Or use something like BISC if you still have your bank account. Close your bank account. That's the first fuck up. And then ultimately, when you have sold all your fiat bags, what are you going to do with these UTXOs? First, understand what UTXOs are. What are coins? The UTXO model, a Bitcoin, right? A chunk of money, a chunk of gold, a piece of sats. And this is what a Bitcoin is. It's not fungible. UTXOs are not fungible because it's your private key protecting them. It's not Alice's, it's not Bob's, it's yours. It's different, right? Sats are fungible. The gold atoms within this chunk of money, that is what is the fungible unit. And that is what we want to transfer. But the UTXOs itself, it's very careful. You must know where you got them. Did you buy them at Coinbase? That's really bad because then that's tied to your real identity. You don't want to have you don't want to let Coinbase know what you do with your money. Come on, no. So what you're gonna do with that? Somehow get it more private. Use something like CoinJoins. That's actually pretty easy. There are many implementations. Join Market is awesome, long-lasting peer-to-peer exchange of UTXOs in a multi-tumble round process. Pretty difficult to set up. There are other good options, for example, Wasabi Wallet, that implements a huge anonymity set, right? The larger the anonymity set, as you heard in the last talk, the better. So 100 anon set per round, pretty decent. Do multiple rounds. And ultimately then, once you have CoinJoined UTXOs, they can no longer be linked to your previous CoinJoined transactions. That's good. They do take up a lot of space on the time chain, so be careful there, like don't overdo it. And increase the latency, right? Don't be in a hurry. Like all this zero-conf, turbo channel magic, yeah, but no, let's take our time, right? Lower your time preference and increase the latency. Like take a month, like do a round of CoinJoin, wait a couple days, do another round of CoinJoins, week later, another round, and then, okay, you're good, right? Then you have a huge time latency in between of your anon sets. And maybe by then, Wasabi Wallet produces like, I don't know, 1,000 anonymity CoinJoins. Let's see what we can do. And ultimately then you have pretty untraceable breakage of your inputs from your Coinbase money to the outputs of fungible high anon set coins. That's pretty good. But then ultimately we want to enter the second realm, right? We want to enter the second layer of the Lightning Network. How do we do that? Currently, you could, of course, open your channel to some like a Lightning Network liquidity service provider, right? They give you access to a pretty well-routed node, and they usually are doing a pretty well job at keeping everything balanced. Of course, here, this is a long-lasting relationship, right? And it might be good to have one of these, and many currently use them. By the way, to do this exactly like this Lightning service provider directly from a KYC exchange is pretty bad. So like don't use a service that just takes your KYC data and then gives you a Lightning Network channel, because that's your long-lasting identity, right? You don't want to have that Lightning channel tied to your name. So do a couple CoinJoins before, right? Don't jump into the Lightning Network directly from KYC. That doesn't make too much sense. So do a couple CoinJoins before you enter your Lightning Network channel. And then also, you might open it just to a peer, to a friend of yours. And that might be well as too. Because you know, for example, he has like upstairs a second layer at the Lightning Hack Days or Hack Tables. A bunch of Lightning Network nodes. They do a lot of traffic. Why not give them a channel, right? It doesn't have to be a company providing this. Can be just a peer up there hacking. He's going to need liquidity too. Do you want to charge a routing fee? Might be, right? Or just leave it at 0. Why not? And also, do you want to announce this channel publicly? Do you want to tell everyone, hey, this is my channel? And we have this liquidity between each other. Like this is the capacity of the channel. These are the two peers, the Lightning Network node A and B, who have this channel. You might, yes, and then everyone can tie this channel to your node public key easily because you gossiped it out to the entire Lightning Network. Of course, it's decent if you want to route and be actively a part of this liquidity shifting from A to B. But ultimately, you can keep this private and not announce this. Might be good if you have, for example, a long-term, more hodl stash that you don't want to reveal to everyone, but you might still want to just route throughout the network eventually. The problem here is how are you going to receive your UTXOs or the sats through this payment channel. And this, again, is tied to this again is tied like to your to the invoice, right? You want to then tell people how they can reach this UTXO through the Lightning Network, and that this is actually tied. So currently, if you have a private channel, you need to put some routing hint information into your invoice, so that the counterparty knows this is the UTXO that is tied to the Lightning Network node, and that he can send a Lightning Network routed payment to this channel. And to build all the HTLZs and all these scripts together. This routing hint needs to be provided in the invoice. And currently, in the Lightning Network implementations, your Lightning Network invoices are from all the private channels. So every single private channel is tied to one private routing invoice. And this, again, links all your private channels to one node. So they're, after all, not so private. because ultimately you link them again to the same node, and that decreases your anonymity set again. Everyone knows this is your channel. So they're not announced to the gossip layer, but you do reveal them all together in these Lightning Network routing invoices. So here, you know. Oh, can you? But in the Lightning Network routing hint.
If you have only private channels, we'll expose one. Okay, in C Lightning, if you have only private channels and you issue an invoice, presumably you want to get paid, we will pick one and expose that. If you have any public channels, we will never expose your private channels unless you explicitly tell us to.
That is awesome.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. I was about to say that, like, it's very important to selectively reveal which UTXO you use. They're not fungible again, right? It's a long-lasting relationship between some peers. And if you do not want to reveal that with a private channel, then this is very good. How do you choose the private channel to reveal? Red Mike.
Yeah, currently it's randomly selected based on a channel that has the incoming capacity, unfortunately, so you can't manually select which one.
Yeah, manual coin selection is awesome. And that goes with payment channels. Currently, we're making this mistake again of doing like automatic, some automatic algorithm. It's like automatic coin selection, never really works that well for privacy. So manual coin control is very, very important. Electrum does that, right, with their, in the advanced tab, the coin selection. And Wasabi Wallet does that by default. So that is very, very important. And labeling, like make sure that you know what channel you're using. Yeah, that is very good. So individual coin control, that's awesome. I think, but can someone confirm that LND, I think, reveals all the routing private channels? But I'm like, maybe that's not the case. So that would be good. And of course, when you gossip about this, all this information, use a private network itself. Tor is a default. Like, Lightning over ClearNet IP is a bug, critical bug. Fix that. Easy, use Tor. Why not? Even better would be something like a mixnet, maybe I2P. I don't know. Like there are mesh networks, whatever, right? There are cool ways that we could use other communication layers. And experiment, like carrier pigeons, smoke signals, radio waves, moon bounces, whatever. And again, we want to increase the latency as well, right? That is also good. Maybe we don't need to communicate like instant second payments that choose the route like as efficiently with like one hop. Maybe we want to wait like a day until the payment confirms. Like Lightning doesn't have to be instant. Yes, it can be. But we could also increase it, right? Just increase latency. Maybe it takes a minute for the payment to reach. That will increase your anonymity set on the network layer itself. And of course, like onion routing, garlic routing, whatever. Any other questions so far? Oh yeah, also for atomic swaps. Currently, you can do something like loop in or loop out in the LND implementation, for example, or just atomic swaps in general. Right now, they function with hashed time-locked contracts, and they can be, in a bad case, written to the time chain. And then you have a clear link from the hash pre-image to the, from the hash to the hash pre-image on the time chain, linking these two transactions and payment channels. And that is well, bad for privacy because, again, it links that this was an atomic swap, which is not necessary. In the cooperative case, this is not there, as I believe. But ultimately, we can have with something like Schnorr Taproot adapter signatures that kind of hide the functionality of a hash time lock contract in the public key with an adapter tweak to the Schnorr signature, and then the revelation of that with the signature, which reveals the tweak. Like Schnorr is magic, implemented in Taproot, coming in 2 weeks. Soft fork, run your own node. That will make that a lot more private. Atomic swaps will be great with Schnorr and Taproot. That's going to be fantastic. Or you can do a non-atomic swap. you just have some layer of trust with a reputable peer. For example, I don't know, a hacker up there, and you want to attribute yourself to being that node provider to then open a channel with someone you know in Meatspace. And maybe what you can do is do a PGP contract. So please sign my key, and if you have one, please give it to me. We can build the web of trust. So make a PGP contract, open timestamp it, put a proof marshal on it too, and then you can say, for example, I will give you this on-chain Bitcoin, and you just give me a random invoice that I will provide you of the same amount at that time between these two block heights, and then you just send the Bitcoin payment to his regular Wasabi wallet for some more coin joins, and then he sends you just the Lightning Network invoice after you have opened the channel. Or you do the initial push amount, which you can do at channel openings. And this is non-atomic, right? He could run away with your money, but at least there's no hash time lock contract revealed on chain. And I mean, you have a PGP contract, that's just cool. And maybe it helps in some private court that we establish like during the bar or something. Any further questions? Then another cool thing that we can further do with Schnorr is to have more efficient channel factories, which are basically kind of coin joins to open a huge payment channel that is that builds one. So we have many inputs from many individual peers, Alice, Bob, Charlie, David, and so on, and one huge multi-sig output with like a M of n of, I don't know, 70 of 100, and we just have one giant UTXO. And with maybe all equal inputs in the, so to have even greater backwards anonymity set. And that then, that opens a channel factory where all these individual 100 can open channels on a second layer, basically, instantly, with whatever liquidity they want, just by co-signing this M of n multi-signature, probably M of n. And with Schnorr, again, that's just one single pub key, one single signature in the cooperative case. Taproot, again, makes this very, very efficient, and that will just enable a lot of fascinating things. Microphone?
Oh, do you want to?
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I'm really impressed about your libertarian ideas. But imagine if all the society has an opportunity to transfer any amount of funds to each other fully anonymously and uncontrollable. Do you think that it will be good at all for society or bad in current state? Thank you.
Well, it will be censorship resistant. Nobody will be able to stop you, and that is what Bitcoin is all about. What you do with this money is completely up to you. You have the private keys, and nobody can stop your Bitcoin on-chain transaction if you pay sufficient fees. And in Lightning Network, game theory works out. If you know, like the payment goes through and it's done. Again, if you find the route and if you pay the routing fee, you will get the payment through.
I mean, the current system, the current global economy, it works like you pay some taxes for government for some different services, and if you have some opportunity to not to do that, you will probably not do that. And if all the people around the world, for example, not only we, some kind of small groups of people, will be able to pay anonymously to pay some $1 million to any random Iran or some different stuff, I mean that. It is going to change all the approach to the economy, and I think that we need to be really careful.
It'll be a wild ride, yes. That is what freedom is all about. We can't plan it. It's going to happen. Like, people are going to do it. We have the technology. Question is, are you going to do it? And if you don't use the tools to defend yourself, good luck. I'm going to use Bitcoin and hodl on my cold card with like meticulously crafted UTXO coin swap, coin join magic to open my channel factories. To then again, ultimately, this is just one of the many layers. You can buy your eCash, a digital bearer certificate, maybe a SCRIT that is again in a multi-signature federation security model that then has perfectly private anonymity. Or then go into a second layer like Liquid, sidechains, use confidential transactions. By the way, confidential transactions also great to maybe open huge channel factories. Again, makes a lot of things easier, especially coin joins. So yeah, peers, this is just one part of a huge privacy stack that we will build up. Just be careful, label your UTXOs, coin join as much as possible, and then use Lightning. That is a lot better than not using Lightning, especially like any fiat bank account. Close that, don't use credit cards, please. And just stack sats and coin join a lot. Thank you very much.